Hi guys, so I am here tonight to talk about reality therapy and choice theory. So before I go into the people that played a role in this approach, I first want to talk about what it is. So reality therapy is an approach that focuses on problem solving through means of developing awareness of choices and behaviors in the here and now. The big takeaway from this theory is that the only person you can control is yourself. Therapists work with clients to help them realize that no matter the situation, they are in control of their own behaviors and thoughts. So now that you have the basic gist of this approach, I do want to talk about the two most influential people. So first off is William Glasser. He has highly rejected Freudian approaches, especially after he started observing other psychoanalytic trained therapists and realized that none of them were using the Freudian techniques. Sorry, I'm getting sick. And so it was originally called reality psychiatry. And Glasser believed that clients had to accept the responsibility for their own behavior. He began searching for theories that would explain his work in reality therapy and came across control theory. So he worked on control theory for 10 years. He tweaked it and he expanded it and revised it. And after those 10 years, he then changed it to be called choice theory. The second person is Robert Wobbleding. He was appointed to be director of training for William Glasser Institute by Glasser himself, and he is currently the director of reality therapy in Cincinnati. His biggest accomplishment and contribution to the therapy approach would be the WDEP system that he created. It provides a basis for conceptualizing and applying choice theory. So it explored, so WDEP is an acronym, and it means that they explored the wants and needs and perceptions of the client. D, direction and doing, so where their action was going to take them in the future. E for self-evaluation, and P for planning. So on this video, I am mainly going to focus on the pros that were discussed for this approach. So number one of the greatest things about this theory is that it can be used in a variety of settings and with a diverse population. So this is because the practice is dependent on the results of the self-evaluation of the client. So once the client figures out what they want most out of their life in their quality world, they can then determine the plan on how to approach it and to be consistent with their cultural values. Number two, another important aspect of reality therapy is that it encompasses human beings as one. And by saying this, I mean that it focuses on things that all of us have. So relationships, we all have them, we all try to maintain them. It focuses on individual internal needs and the inevitability of people to make choices. Bringing together the human race in this aspect helps with the use of the therapy in a multicultural perspective. Third, it is easy to apply this therapy in a group setting. Again, this therapy focuses on relationships. So obviously, group therapy would help in many ways, one of them being the feedback from the leader of the group and also the members can help the individual formulate realistic and attainable plans. Personally, I really thought that the pros of this approach were one, that it was relatively easy therapy to practice. There were no specific techniques, and it focused on a collaborative relationship. Two, there was an emphasis on action. I think that was super important, and I think that was a key factor in this approach. There's one thing to be talking about things in therapy, but then to put it into action, I think is one of, again, the key points of this. Three, I think the message it sends to clients is a positive one. It's empowering, and it can challenge them to be their best and most fulfilled self. Last but not least, one thing a pre-service counselor must know about this theory is that is to not totally reject the client's past. So it says this later on in the book, or in the chapter, because reality therapists don't like to focus on the past. They like to focus on the present, and because they don't think that the past is conducive to making changes in the future. But sometimes the therapists have to listen to the past because the past behaviors may be repeated in the present. And we need to make sure that the client is not rejecting these past behaviors and actions. So there are lots of shortcomings too of this therapy and practice, but in these instances, I see that there's many cases that this therapy and this theory can be utilized to help a client feel fulfilled and happy.